From the News Channel 5 Network, this is SportsLine.
Big news today, the Ken Whisenhunt era with the Tennessee Titans officially over. Welcome into SportsLine here on News Channel 5 Plus. I'm Jonathan Hutton. We'll be recapping this story throughout the hour with press conference coverage from earlier today, which you saw right here on News Channel 5 Plus. Amy Adams-Strunk is the controlling owner for the Tennessee Titans, and she made the call that Ken Whisenhunt needed to go after going 3-20 through his first 23 games and starting 1-6 this season. Earlier today, interim president Steve Underwood and interim head coach Mike Mularkey took the podium.
Good morning. Welcome all of you to St. Thomas Sports Park. Earlier today, we relieved our head coach of his duties and thanked Ken for his contributions to us. We wish him well in his future endeavors. Just before that, we had spoken to Mike Mularkey about his willingness to be our interim head coach. I think Mike was taken off guard a little bit this morning. He's had some time to sort of settle in with it, and we're very grateful for his willingness to assume that role. All of you know Mike. He's been a former head coach. He's been an offensive coordinator in our league, and we're very grateful that he's willing to help us. Mike Mularkey.
Thank you. I will say caught off guard was probably an understatement. I don't think anybody really knew this morning what was going to take place, but it was hard for me because my relationship with Ken, you know, we go back 25 years in this business, and that's the difficult part of it, is that you've got a close friend who hired you to work for him, and appreciate him doing that. But I also have been in the business for, this is my 30th year player and coach, and I also know how the business works, and it's time to turn the page, and I'm looking forward to this opportunity with these guys, and hopefully dig us out of the hole that we've, including myself, put us in, and move forward from this point on.
Mike, what's the first thing that has to change to dig out of that hole, as you said?
Well, there's some, I think, as you've noticed, there hasn't been we keep saying we're close. We have been close in a lot of these games. It's a matter of making some plays here and there, and I think offensively, we know that we have not really been complementing our defense as well as we did earlier in the year, and we need to get back to doing that. And we'll do some things differently offensively, scheme-wise, more things that I'm more familiar with some of the offenses that I've had. I'm not going to change the whole offense, but we're going to do some things philosophically different to help us.
Can you be a little bit specific, Mike, on that? I know you're in charge of the run game now. Should we expect to see a little bit more of the run game, do you think?
Well, I think balance is important. I always have. If you ever look at my years as a coordinator of calling plays, I always really watch myself as far as balance, but also trying to keep teams off balance with formations and personnel, and again, not that we weren't already doing that. We may just do a little more of that, and probably do some things differently in the passing game we've been doing.
Mike, did you call, as head coach in Buffalo and Jacksonville, did you call the plays, and you anticipate doing that here?
No, Jason Michael will call the plays here. Jason understands and runs, the offense starting as soon as we get over the previous opponent. He's already on the next one. He knows this offense inside and out. And there's a big trust factor there that I trust him that he'll put us in the right situation. Now, we'll talk a lot, but it's hard to concentrate when you get too many people on the phones. I'm going to let him have it. And if I think there's something that needs to be addressed, I'll address it in between series.
You said big things in the passing game. Are those mostly protection related?
Some protection. Some, yes. Scheme-wise as well. Things that, again, without showing our hand, things that, going back to my days in Pittsburgh as a coordinator, with a a quarterback that's as talented as Marcus is, his ability to do some things like I had with Cordell back in Pittsburgh, and then his ability to do like Matt I had in Atlanta. He's got a lot of the similarities of both those guys, which is dangerous to defenses. So you'll see some things different. Whether you recognize it or not, it will be.
What's the identity of this football team going forward?
Well, that's easy for me to talk about. As a position coach, as a coordinator, as a head coach, I mean, my philosophy has always been the same. It's being a tough, physical football team now. That was my role with the tight ends. That was their number one thing. They're going to play to the whistle. They're going to be physical. And secondly is don't beat yourself. That's the biggest things in this business. Turning the ball over, penalties, mental errors, things like that. And if that's one thing I've been very proud of over my history is we have done a good job of not doing that. And when there's been success, the teams that I've been with, we've been successful because of those two philosophies. And it won't be hard for me to get in front of these guys because I believe it, and I believe it wins games.
Like you touched on the beginning, but I mean, with respect to after Ken, but how excited are you to be back in the seat to have an opportunity to football team again?
I'm better now than I was a couple hours ago. I mean, I told Steve this morning I need to just take a step back and catch my breath here a little bit. I was getting ready to do the run game this morning, literally in the next 5 minutes, and so there's really no preparation of what you're going to do if you're the head coach, a couple hours later. So there's some things I need to get prepared and get ready for. Obviously, I'm going to have these guys first thing in the morning, and they're going to look for answers, and I'm going to hopefully have them for them.
Did you talk to Amy this morning?
I did talk to Amy this morning, yes.
What was the tone of that conversation? What did she say?
Well, it just that she felt like there needed to be a change, and that was really the blunt of it. And obviously wants to get wins out of this team, and she felt this in the best interest of the team. This was the best move for them, and then I'll leave it at that.
Is she in Texas?
She is in Texas, yes.
Was there anything special you saw in the interim, and what was the straw that broke the camel's back in terms of pulling the trigger now?
Let me answer your first question first. We have two former NFL head coaches on our staff. We believed that Mike would be the best fit for us. Our defense is playing very well. It's not something I think we wanted to distract Coach LeBeau about. Dick has a strong offensive background. He's been doing it all the time that he's been in the NFL, and so it made that decision relatively easy. I don't think there was a single straw, as you put it, that broke the camel's back in terms of making a change. Amy has been considering it now for several weeks. She and I have had any number of conversations about it. She was in almost daily communication with Ken and with Rustin. I think she's been to every single game we've played at home and on the road. She follows the team for hours every day in terms of what they're doing. I don't think there's anything said or written about the club that Amy's not dialed into. And so, having been around the business for most of her life, I think it was something that she decided as a process, not an event.
What was your advice?
Well, Amy didn't exactly ask me the question, what did I think ought to happen? Amy asked me other questions about, how it was affecting our team, the fact that we'd only won 3 of the last 23 games, what effect that was having on our business side. She doesn't really ask me a lot of football questions. That's not really my area of expertise. We have a lot of other people that are good at football. It was certainly something that needed to be considered. When you're not winning and you can't win, that's when change happens in the NFL. Our business is really characterized by that kind of change. If you're not successful, things change.
What was the impact on the business side of things with all losing?
Well, it's like any other kind of long-term lack of success on the field. You have some attrition in your season ticket sales. It affects your suite business. It affects, how interested your fans are in the game. Really, I have to say this. Our fans have been very loyal. Our PSL holders have really hung in there. We're still having great crowds this year. There has been some effect, and we know it. We hear from them. Our ticket service personnel hear from them. All of those things have an effect on your television ratings, on people that are listening on the radio, and you have to pay attention to that. That is a part of our business.
Steve.